Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Village Board meeting for March 3rd, 2023. I ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman?
Here.
Daney?
Here.
Gansey?
Here.
Hopkins? Here. Laporte?
Here.
Swansky?
Here.
President Gunstein.
Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
This is going to take us right to budget. All right. With that said, we will go right to our budget presentation. And
Wheel of Fortune and Gulf one.
This is our police chief, isn't it?
Lucky Phil.
Okay, thank you, Mayor and Board. Thanks for allowing us to present budget tonight. I don't take a lot of time doing this. I'm going to run over some of the particulars real quick for, there we go. I'll run over some of the particulars for golf real quick. We had another really good year at the golf course on the golf end. 32,500 rounds were played. Record green fee and range revenues. Our revenues were up 8% from last year. We continue that growth this year. Plan is to raise rates at about 4% rates at all of our key rates. Also, season passes will go up accordingly. Also had a record year in online round bookings. We made over $500,000 revenue through online bookings this year. Some of the highlights going forward for this year, it's our 100-year anniversary that we'll be celebrating. We've got some special events involved for that. We've got a scramble to start the season in May. We're going to do a Head to the Hills family golf event this summer and also an event at the History Museum to celebrate the golf course. Also, we'll be doing some giveaways and raffles and things like that to promote our 100-year anniversary. We will continue to host our high schools, South Elgin and Bartlett High School. Also host the Bartlett Chamber, Lions Club, Rotary, Bartlett Rotary, and many other civic functions at the golf course. Another area that did real well last year, range ball revenue continues to grow. We had a record year there. We had over $40,000 in range revenues. I'll go forward here to page 11 on our budget. We have no personnel requests this year. I think we're the same. Capital budget, we're asking for $5,000 to improve the look of the golf shop with just some new fixtures and displays. Nothing is changing in our professional development detail. Professional association remains unchanged. That's all I have. If you have any questions for me, I can answer questions pertaining to golf, and I can hand over to Matt or Paul here to discuss.
Okay, thank you.
When does the 100-year celebration technically begin?
Well, we have a golf event scheduled for May. I don't have my calendar.
May 1st.
It is May 1st. We have that's kind of the kickoff of our fiscal year and their kickoff of the 100-year anniversary.
You mentioned 4% rate increases. Is that standard in the industry right now? Do you see that happening, or?
Golf rates are going up everywhere. In fact, I misspoke there. Some of our key rates are going up $3 to $4. Like season passes are going up close to 10% in some areas. So yes, we monitor everybody else's rates, and especially the golf courses that are similar to us.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the board. Over the past year, the Grounds Department completed several course improvements through in-house projects. These include expanding native grass areas, completing the bunker reconstruction, building new tee boxes, and increasing bent grass coverage around the golf course. These projects were designed to reduce long-term maintenance needs, lower water use, and enhance playability and appearance. By using on-site material and our staff, we completed these upgrades without additional capital expenditures, resulting in significant cost savings while maintaining high course standards. For the budget, the first three budget sections, personnel request, capital request, and professional development, each show no request this year. The professional association detail line shows a decrease. And the final page would be the line item detail, which reflects an overall 13% increase. This is driven by a 78% increase in the building and grounds improvement line, which includes $75,000 in clubhouse improvements, which was in the capital improvement program. And then the equipment and maintenance line also increased by 15% due to rebuilding our fairway mower cutting units, which has exceeded their life expectancy. So this will be their first rebuild, and we will do that all in-house, saving us money. And that concludes the grounds budget. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer, or I can toss it over.
What are the clubhouse repairs?
So the clubhouse would be the stair replacement by the clubhouse entrance and the back veranda, and then they're doing some sealing and coating of the patios, I believe. That's right.
So I know we're looking at having a consultant help with everything. How do we think that what we're proposing tonight might fit in with that? Or are there any lingering questions we might have before then?
In terms of the consultant, you asked?
Yes,
That's on the committee item later?
yes.
And your question was, do we have any?
Just like if there would be any like questions, like knowing that we're talking about that later and trying to put together the budget for next year, are there anything that's kind of like, oh, I wish there was something we could know now before we approve a budget? Or do we think like this is in line with?
You know what? I think that what the consultant is going to do is help us save money. So I think from a budgetary perspective, I think that it's just going to end up being a net positive. So we didn't prepare the budget.
So we're thinking the consultant is more of like just cuts versus figuring out new revenue stream?
The plan is to have the consultant look at our operations for the beginning of the golf season. That's just around the corner.
Okay.
And so it'll tiptoe into 2 budget cycles. So, our beginning of the study in this current budget, and then, the remainder of their study will be in this budget. We have the funds to cover the entire thing. It's, as you know, it's not tremendously expensive. And then whatever recommendations that they have, we'll be able to implement in the following golf season. So we should be able to budget for those appropriately.
Okay. And then so with the rate increases that are proposed in here, is that covering like what the deficit that was in the audited financials last year? Or how do we come to the, to propose those like rate increases, or just keeping in line?
I'll let Phil talk about how he
Okay.
lands on rate increases. But I just want to point out that the study that we're talking about tonight is for food and beverage operations, not for golf operations.
Okay.
You talking about the rate structure for golf or food and beverage?
Well, for now, golf.
For golf, we very carefully monitor other similar golf courses' rates. We monitor everybody else's rates.
Yeah.
But there is a point where you can get oversaturated with rates. Our rates that I feel right now are absolutely right where they need to be. They're in a sweet spot. We're going to be at about $84 on a weekend to play with a cart. And if you look at similar comparable golf courses, that our rates fall right in line, especially with golf courses in our immediate area here.
Okay.
To piggyback Phil's comment, that's been pretty aggressive for us. Ever since irrigation system has been put in, the course is going to continue to improve, and I think we'll be able to continue to be aggressive with those rate hikes and those user fees.
Online rates and online booking, do the rates shift in that?
So online rates are set up strictly at our rack rates. And then as we get closer to those tee times, there are algorithms in there that will lower the rate. If the tee sheet is it's only 20% full on a particular day, the rates will be lowered within the website in order to try to attract play, but they start at the highest rack rate, and on Fridays, Saturday, and Sundays in particular, they never change because of the demand. They get booked up, and we never have to discount on those days.
How accurate is the bank charges for golf at $45,000? Is that pretty accurate?
I think it's very accurate, and we, the amount of credit card usage just grows exponentially every single year. So I'm not sure what there is. Our point of sale software is we only have two options of credit card to use, and there's really not much room for savings there.
Is that the new software? I know I read there was a different software using.
That's a food and beverage software.
Beverage, okay. I forgot which side it was on.
Hey, Phil, I have one question. Is the rate for resident and non-resident both going up the same amount?
The non-resident rate is going up slightly more than the resident rate.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Okay, then, if there's nothing else, I'd like to go on with food and beverage. And good evening, Mayor and trustees. It's my pleasure to present you with the food and beverage part of the 26-27 Gulf budget. Going back to the narrative a little bit at the beginning, I think I want to just bring out a couple of points. One was that food and beverage sales are forecast to be 7% over the 25-26 budget, with record revenues in each of the three revenue categories. Casual wedding package, by the way, we've increased prices and attached the packages and how we've formatted them. We're getting them up to almost 50% of what the bookings are going to be for the year coming up, which are all higher profit items for us. The new catering software from Triple Seat, we're right in the middle of the conversion right now, and that would allow the guests to go back onto the site and actually pay with credit cards for certain events, and they're going to be absorbing the credit card fees instead of us. So that could be a $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 savings that way. Going forward, all new menus and new enhanced menus for the ultimate packages were all put out. We're up to 40 weddings compared to the 38 it listed on here before. We continue with all the Best of the Knot awards, and we also have all the awards for Wedding Wire and Zola for the third year in a row. For the actual budget itself, under Gulf Food and Beverage, under Restaurant, there is nothing there at all, not adding nobody, no capital outlay. Professional development are just a couple of easy Bassett and Food Service Manager certifications. We have no professional association detail. And the first line items you're going to see there are the restaurant line items with an increase of about 4%. Mostly payroll items over in there. The next section is going to be Gulf Food and Beverage under Banquet. Again, we have no capital outlay, no personnel, professional development. Again, the same smaller items for staff and managers as the 3-year and 5-year cycles work their way through. Under line items for Banquet, there's a couple of increases in there. A lot of it's payroll related in there. And some of it is simply due to the fact that our volume went up so much, like food and beverage purchases, that some of those are much higher than what we expected before. And the last category we go through is really Midway. That's our cash cow down there making all the money for us. We have no capital outlay down at the Midway. And line items you can see as they are over in there, pretty similar to before, with a little bit more in payroll again, because we're more money and spending more time out there with the increase in sales. That's it for us. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
This is Joe. Many restaurants are charging the client 3% fee if credit cards are used. Is this an option we should explore for golf and restaurant or banquet, or no?
Anybody hear what Joe said?
Yeah, that's 3% credit card.
Well, the point of sale system from Gulf now, you either can do it or you can't do it. Either food and beverage can do it, and golf can do it, or you can't do both. But when we increased our prices for the midway and the restaurant going forward, even though you can't put the 3% on as a tax afterwards, you can add the 3% as a price increase to the price, eliminating the need to work around that system.
When that first started, we talked about that in depth, and it's relatively unheard of in the golf side. So as Paul said, we just considered that when constructing the budget.
So if I wanted to increase an item by 10%, I'd increase it by 13%, and that would take care of the difference anyway.
But are you giving a cash discount?
Okay.
What?
Would you give a cash discount if they paid for cash?
We do not have the ability on our system to go ahead and do that right now.
When someone comes to look for like a wedding or a banquet, what are some of the reasons people said, no, that's not the place for me?
Well, you don't know some of those because they leave and you never hear from them again. That's one of the things going forward with the consultants. If a fresh set of eyes is better all the time to see what's going on for what it's worth. I think one of the things we wanted to go ahead and address, really three things I wanted to address with the consultants in the first place. One was our marketing and our social media program and how it attaches to the program for the target audience we have for weddings. A walkthrough of the whole facility to see what stands out and what doesn't stand out, like a first impression thing, to gain some knowledge out of that over in there. And the other thing we wanted to do is get some understanding of where our profit and loss statement stands compared to industry standards, compared to what they're used to, and what their way is to handle the reduced wedding sizes, which really are the number one problem that we have in the first place. So those are really the goals of what's coming out of that. A lot of the times a lot of the times it might be size. They don't imagine themselves being there. The veranda with 150 out there, it's hard for them to imagine the ceremony being out there in some cases. It's kind of limited as far as that goes. The building, there are areas that need, probably could be a little bit more modernized. We've done a lot of it, but it's still an older building that people are looking for barns, people are looking for outside areas, people are looking for a unique twist for what's going on to their event right now, compared to a normal golf course, 7-course meal and whatever. What they do get when they get in here is they get great word of mouth advertising, they great follow-up from Evan in detail, and someone's always on the phone, and they get a great tour and a timely response to everything. And those are all number one priorities for what people are looking for. Probably the ability to do a ceremony out in the golf course, something to feel more outside with that. A lot of people may bring up tents because they like what that feeling is also over in there. There's stuff we can do and there's stuff we can't do. But I think 9 out of 10 people are going out of there pretty happy, putting us on their list somewhere.
Well, I think that sounds like you have a good plan and questions for when the person comes in, and I agree, sometimes it's nice to have an outside set of eyes.
You just got to keep an open mind. We do a real good job with what we do.
Yeah.
Another set of eyes is always going to be helpful. And if you're going to do it, then make it worthwhile to go ahead and get something out of it that's going to have some real income, not my French fries are overportioned or something. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, great. My only input would be, I feel like for the budget this year, having 15,000 taken up by the knot might be a little high, might be time to change or.
Well, we already got rid of the wedding wire because that's the same thing. All the brides and grooms and everybody that's looking around these days, they're very digital savvy and everything else. The knot is based quite a bit on reviews that are kind of, was that a review or is that not a review? Whereas people like Zola and some of the other ones, they're more of an interactive thing that they can get in there and actually work with and use them more effectively. The leads are 5-to-1 of Zola over Wedding Wire and the knot right now. So there are other ones out there also, probably a little switch of where we're going with that going forward, I would think would make sense.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's fair to say that this budget's pretty clean, prior to the consultant looking over it, so that would roll into 2027, 28 if we're making significant changes there. So I don't see anything glaring on golf across the board that stands out, so.
We'll get to this when we cover it under committee of the whole, but under the consultant's plan, some of those changes would take place immediately.
Okay. I was just talking infrastructure or capital outlay. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
In closing, I'd just like to make one remark. Pardon me. I play quite a bit of golf at Bartlett Hills, and they bring a lot of people in that belong to other courses. And they all, after we finish the round, say what a great, wonderful course it is, and the service that we receive in the pro shop and also in the bar is exceptional. But gentlemen, I think you're doing a wonderful job, and the people that I bring, the guests I bring, also feel the same way I do. So thank you very much.
All right, who's next on the roulette wheel?
So next, we are going to go to the Central Services Fund. So this will be on page 163 of the document. So if the Central Services is one of our internal service funds. If you remember last year, we did create the new Information Systems Department. So John will go over his department. I will start by going over the rest of the expenditures in the Central Services Fund. We do have no personnel requests this year. We have no capital outlay requests. So on to the line item. The overall Central Services budget, excluding the Information Systems Department, is up 11%, or $52,287. Personnel Services is up 16%, or $23,987. This is going to be due to the hiring of the building facility manager this year. We also budget for unemployment benefits.
Pause you for just a second. What page did you say that was on?
163.
Oh, okay.
It's right after finance in the binder.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Good. So to the line item overall, it's up 11%, or $52,287. Personnel is up 16%, or $23,987. This is due to the hiring of the building facility manager. We also budget for unemployment benefits. Due to the unpredictable nature of this, we always budget $20,000. The next line item is service agreements, which is going up 63%. So if you go to the next page, it kind of has a breakdown of service agreements. So if you remember last year, we did move a few items out of central services into individual departments, mainly administration and police. After 1 year, we did realize that 2 of those items we probably should not have moved, so we moved them back to central services. Those are the security system, door access, lockup, and video for $25,000, and the generator maintenance agreement for $3,000. Another change is there's the fire extinguisher maintenance agreement for $5,000. This is just, we reclassed from another line item. We thought it made more sense to be in service agreements. And then we also realized our plotter maintenance agreement we were not budgeting for, so we added that, which is $1,500. The next line item was building maintenance services. This is going down from $173,800 to $164,200. Part of that is the janitorial agreement. Last year we budgeted $90,000. I realized this year that was for the entire contract, but golf, streets, water, and sewer budget their portion out of their funds. So that's why I reduced the budget to $75,000. HVAC maintenance, we increased from $25,000 to $35,000. And then the other change here is you can see the fire extinguisher service, that's where we reclassed it to service agreements for 5,000. And then the remaining line items are the same. So utilities stayed at 20,000, materials and supplies at 40,100, and contingencies at 10,000. So that's it for that. Unless there's any questions, I'll turn it over to John to go through the information systems department.
Any questions?
No?
Mayor and Board, that this year's capital plan is not about adding new features or expanding services. It's about replacing systems that have reached end of life and ensuring the village's core operations remain stable and secure. Next page. For the 2026-27 budget highlight, we're only requesting a 1% increase over last year. This is in large part due to the phone system needing to be replaced. Next page. For the strategic plan, we've aligned ourselves with the future-ready workforce and the quality of life strategic goals. For the future-ready workforce, we are replacing old systems. We are replacing old equipment, and we're reinvesting in training and technology. For the quality of life, we're improving communications with residents by updating the websites. We broke out social media into its own line item, and by utilizing GIS maps and drone footage. Scroll down, please. Go to activity measures. It's our org chart, job descriptions. So for our activity measures, you can see that the number of IT requests have gone up by about 20%. The number of GIS requests have gone up about 100%. They've about doubled. Keep going. Next page, please. Not asking for any new additional people. Next page. For capital improvement, we are looking to replace our 27 squad car laptops. They are 5 years old and out of warranty. We're also asking to replace the capital side of the phone system. Our phone system is 7 years old. It is obsolete. I cannot get parts or service for it anymore. So this is for the phone side of it. So this is for the desktop phones and conference phones. The desktop computer replacement, we shifted to a 25% desktop replacement program. So every year we are replacing the exact same amount. So that way it's consistent. We are renewing our FortiGates. This is our firewall that sits between our network and the internet. To keep us safe, this is good for 3 years, and after that they will need to be replaced. And last but not least, the PDS copier needs replacing. It is 7 years old, and I can no longer get parts or service for it. Next page.
Could I ask a question real quick? I would like to know, the squad car laptop replacements, has that been something that was under the police department in the past, or has it always been under informational systems?
It has always been under IS. Next page. This is our training. This is unchanged from last year. Next page. This is our association details. We have two main groups that we are associated with. We have GMIS and ILGISA. GMIS is for the IT side, and ILGISA is for the GIS side. The cost of this remains unchanged. Next page. A few items to note here. We have created a brand new line item for social media. We had discovered that a lot of the social media expenses were buried inside computer services, so we broke that out and made it into its own line item. There's also a bump in the telephone service. This is in regards to the new phone system.
What does social media include?
More on that to come.
Okay.
Scroll down a bit more, please. In fact, take that down to social media. Next page. So here's our social media line item. We have Hootsuite. Hootsuite is an application that we use to schedule and manage our posts on the different social media accounts that we use. We have a Civic Plus, which is going to be our website, our mobile apps and citizen request. This is our GoGov, our Gov Outreach, our mobile app, the app that we have on our phone. We have our social media archiving, which is what we use to archive all of our posts and comments. And then we have our Adobe Creative Suite, which is a suite of applications that we use to edit and modify our photos and videos that we use to create. So these investments ensure our technology remains dependable, secure, and aligns with the level of service our residents expect. And I'm here to answer any questions.
What did Civic Plus include again? And that was through GoGov?
Website. No, GoGov is completely separate.
Oh, so Civic Plus is the website, what the website lives on?
Yes.
And so do you anticipate that changing with the website redo?
That this is the website redo.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And why Civic Plus?
There are a lot of municipalities using it at the moment, which is one of the main reasons. One of the other reasons is it has a lot of add-ons that we're able to add on to later. So we can tie all of these different services that we use into the website. And it actually lives inside the website. Like, for example, we use Next Request for our FOIA system. They use a Civic Plus, so by default, this will tie right into our website. So people will be able to access all their FOIAs right through the website. Okay. Natively.
How about like any of the storage of all the data, like when we have our meetings, and is that changing or
included.
it'll?
I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't mean to interrupt. We have also purchased the meeting and agenda management system.
Okay.
So yes, that will eventually change. We're going to modernize it.
You used a multi-departmental user group to evaluate those systems too.
Yes, to evaluate it, we brought in people from different departments. We formed a committee. And,
If you looked at 20 area communities and discovered their websites, I think you'd be, the ones that you would be happy with would generally be Civic Plus.
Yeah, I'm like really curious, 'cause I know every time I try to like go do a search, since it doesn't seem to have a good functionality all the time, unless we named it something or have like a tag in there, it's really hard to find, like go back in time and find things.
Our current website is very dated.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I also think, like when residents search for something, they search for a problem and they search for,
Yes.
I want it, or a service. And the way that we're organized now is by department. So it's great for folks who know like what department to go to, but not so great if I want to know, is there garbage pickup, right? So
Right.
I think kind of looking at that more from the outside is something that we're really going to focus on this time.
And does that budget cost include them consulting and giving us implementation?
Yes, it does. It includes everything.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you much.
Thank you.
It's too much time to give to Christy, but
Was the non-departmental expenditures part of,
non-departmental expenditures is central services. Yeah?
who's on the next roulette wheel?
We're good. Yeah, let's do Christie and then professional services.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. I'm going to go over some of our department highlights for the past year pretty quickly. Again, we are always trying to use the programs that we have to work as efficiently as possible. This year, we were able to issue 50% of any type of permit within 48 hours. 78% of our express permits were issued within that 48-hour goal that we have. In addition, this year, we took over contractor licensing. 54% of contractor licenses are now issued within an hour of the submittal coming in. Our staff is proactively taking the updated certificates of insurance, which saves so much staff time and we don't no longer have to call the contractor to upload it, we do it for them. So that's really streamlining our renewal process. The Lake Street TIF, as promised, we are moving forward with that as quickly as we can. So we, the village, acquired the 20-acre site on the south side of Lake Street and obtained the judicial deed for 555 West Lake Street. We have demolished the gas station. We had the buildings demolished from 231 to 251 East Lake Street. We removed the blight. I think right now, if we were looking at that property, we might not qualify for a TIF because we got rid of one of the major qualifiers, which is a good starting point. Tonight, we will be selecting the Lake Street TIF Master Plan and Consultant. You'll be hearing from them later to get more public input to keep the rest of this project moving forward. The village received the CMAP Next grant to look at our downtown and how we can further revitalize that and update our TOD plan. Planning staff has been incredibly busy with a lot of residential concept plans, which would be bringing some different housing options to the village, which is definitely needed. We are working with getting all of our approvals and intergovernmental agreements for those bike path connections as part of the grasslands development, and hopefully we'll see construction of those underway this upcoming fiscal year. In code compliance, for the first year ever, we had over 1,000 code complaints, and 91% of those were, we obtained compliance without writing citations. Our goal is always to correct the problem. We're not really looking for fines unless we are not getting cooperation. So this year, the department budget is increasing by approximately 3%. That is due to the increase in central services allotment. We are not asking for any new vehicles. We are not asking for any new staff. We are increasing the summer intern slightly by less than $1,000 because we have had some great interns lately. If you remember last year, our summer intern, who was a Bartlett resident, created some of the site plans to give the board an idea of what can fit on different size lots. So it's great. I want to be able to make sure we continue getting some great applicants for that and give them some great experience. Beyond that, if there is anything specific or any questions, I am here to answer them.
Any questions?
Nope.
Oh, and an update with 555 West Lake Street. IEPA accepted our stage 1 report, the 45-day notice. They reached a compromise with our environmental consultant that will do some small soil remediation removal, and then we think we'll be able to proceed with that site development, getting an RFP put together. So we did a little bit of negotiation so that we can get the NFR letter as soon as possible.
No questions? Thank you, Christy.
Okay. Now we'll move on
Probably
to,
your easiest one that I've sat with you at.
now we're going to move on to professional services, which is part of our general fund. On the link, it's page 122. It's right after the administration budget. There's just a few line items in professional services, so I'll just go through each one real quick. The first line item is the actuarial consultant. This is for the police pension actuary we do every year. Half of it gets charged to the police pension fund, the other half gets charged here, so I'm just slight increase from $4,000 to $4,200. The next line item is professional planners. There was no budget last year. This year we're budgeting $100,000, and I'm going to turn it over to Christy real quick to talk about this.
So we have this in as a placeholder. Until recently, we were planning on moving ahead with the zoning ordinance update. The governor recently said that they're looking at doing a statewide zoning ordinance, which is concerning. I would much rather the village have control of our own zoning regulations. So while that is going on and hopefully getting worked out with the state, We would still like to start working on, have a placeholder so that we could update our zoning ordinance if that doesn't happen. We have some incredibly outdated uses, such as haberdasheries, which is a button store, or public baths, which we allow in certain zoning districts. So we might want to clean up some of the terminology that we have and update our code for some new current regulations, especially in regards to things like lighting standards, parking standard updates. Most of our code was adopted in 1968 and 1970, so we think we need an update.
What's the state stance on that, like time-wise? Because I don't think it's going to pass.
I hope it does not pass.
I hope it does not either.
Most of IML is opposed to it. Most local governments are opposed to it.
What would be their reason?
They're trying to encourage additional housing, and so they want to tie municipalities' hands to allow, eliminate single-family zoning, allow accessory dwellings, require some of those kind of one-size-fits-all solutions.
I think the reason is Barrington Hills.
Well, everybody's fighting about it. The Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus made it the central point of their legislative program this week. The COGs are very involved in it. Maura Hirschauer, who's got to have a town hall at the library tomorrow night, she is sponsoring legislation that we brought up to her this summer about parking regulations to amend that out of the transit bill. So there are a lot of moving pieces. I'm afraid that this might be one of those things that gets passed in the middle of the night and then we spend the next decade trying to unwind it, but we shall see.
Does home rule play into that at all?
Unfortunately, most of the bills propose to preempt home rule authority as well.
I'll go on record and say for 125 years, I think we've done a fine job of running our own zoning. We don't need the state in here telling us how to build our town, so. Go ahead.
Line item is legal services, so this is going to be for village attorney, labor attorney, traffic and housing court, adjudication, and any miscellaneous legal expenditures. We don't get into great detail now because the board does approve their contracts at the first meeting in May. I did increase the budget from $384,000 to $400,000, which is a 4% increase, and that is due to the Public Works union contract will end 4/30/26, and then the police union contract will end 4/30/27. So we'll probably start those negotiations in fiscal year 27. Next line item is engineering services, keeping the budget at $80,000. Next is social services. The budget is going from $154,400 to $163,500, which is a 6% increase. And that'll be for the one full-time and one part-time social worker. Has a budget of $137,500, up from $128,400 last year. And then there's a budget of $26,000 for psychologist Dr. Jeswin. I know she's mainly works with police, but she's available for all village staff. $19,000 for annual consultation fees, and then $7,000 for mental health screenings for the police officers. And then the last item is contingencies, which is staying at a budget of $20,000.
I just want to say that when we had our employee death at Public Works, being able to immediately bring in our social worker staff to help our Public Works employees deal with that news, and they continue to be available to anybody in the staff to help them deal with that issue. But it was, I really saw the benefit of having that relationship embedded in Village Hall to be able to tap those resources, within minutes. guys are awesome. You can take a 10-minute break.
What's going to be next? To adjourn this? All right, can I get a motion to adjourn for break?
Moved.
Moved by trustee Daney, second by trustee Swansky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey? Yes. Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes. We are adjourned.
Yes.
Reopen the meeting. All right, the cake will be there after the meeting, trustee Hopkins.
We're going to start with Pledge of Allegiance again.
We are?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I opened the meeting wrong. I was supposed to open the committee of the whole. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Village of Bartlett Board Meeting for March 3rd, 2026. I ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman? Daney?
Here.
Gansey?
Here.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Here.
Swansky? President Gunstein?
Here, we are going to do the Pledge of Allegiance again because we did it wrong in the first time around. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can't say that enough anyways. All right, that'll take us to our town hall portion of the meeting. If anybody is here or online that would like to address the board, please do so by stepping up to the podium and state your name and address for the record. And please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Anybody? Anybody online?
No.
All right. Nobody's here. That'll close the town hall portion of the meeting. Take us to our consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk will be considered to be routine and will be acted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless board members so request, in which that event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at an appropriate point in the agenda. With that said, would anybody like to remove or add anything to the consent agenda tonight?
Yes, Mr. President. I would like to add agenda item F1. That's a resolution approving the concrete replacement program agreement between the Village of Bartlett and Schroeder and Schroeder.
Does anybody have any concerns over that? Comments? All right. F1. Anybody else like to add or remove anything from the consent agenda?
Yes, Mr. President, can I add D1? That's
E1?
correct.
All right. Any concerns or questions over that? No.
Did anything change from what we had stated?
No.
We did clarify the management positions that you were asking about.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else like to remove or add anything from the consent agenda? All right. Can I get a motion to amend the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney. Second. Second by trustee Hopkins. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky? Yes. Betterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins?
That motion carries. All right, that'll take us to our treasurer's report. Tonight, we have no treasurer's. Oh, sorry. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda, the amended consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney, second by trustee Swansky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Swansky? Yes. Betterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
That motion carries. All right, that'll take us to our treasurer's report. There is nothing tonight, so you get a break till later. And take us to our president's report. So with that said, I would like to congratulate one of the long-standing staples in our community, V&V. It's been a staple in my house pretty much every weekend since I was a kid and when you guys were back on Railroad Avenue or Bartlett Avenue. So you were probably voted the best pizza in Bartlett in 2026. First pizza competition I think we've had. You've been in Bartlett for over 40 years, so congratulations to you. This award reflects the decades of dedication and the loyalty to your customers who keep coming back year after year. So thank you for your commitment to this town and having great food. 12 applicants, so great job. You guys want to step over? Yeah, you won the next category, so. This is for me. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Thank you. I know this guy's in our kids, so.
No one can see me.
Oh, let's go down there.
I also want to thank the staff for putting together this competition. It's really great for our town, small town community feel, so can't wait to see what's on the next competition, so thank you. All right, that'll take us to questions for staff, or we got that. Oh, yep, I apologize. We have President's Report still has one more. The introduction of Houseal Lavigne Associates, LLC. They're here to do a presentation on our Lake Street redevelopment.
Oh, here we go.
All right. Well, thank you for giving us an opportunity to present today. I'm going to go through a couple of slides to just talk about a little bit about our team, a bit about the proposal, and then just highlight some of the experience that our firm has preparing this type of work. Next. It's okay.
What's your name?
Sorry, I'm Nick Davis with Houseal Lavigne, so I'll do a couple slides. I don't know, this may not work. Well, while that's going, so a little bit about us. So we have a project team of Houseal Lavigne and Meach Group. So Meach Group specializes in financial and market analysis work. They're going to help us specifically with the market component and the gap analysis. And then a little bit about Houseal Lavigne. So my name's Nick Davis. I'm a principal at Houseal Lavigne. I specialize in our firm's urban design, urban planning work. Houseal Lavigne does planning, design, and zoning. And so we work in all different scales for our types of projects in the planning area. We have national experience. We work across the country, but we're home-based here in the Chicago region. And then innovative and fun, we do a lot of different approaches for the type of planning work that we do, specifically for these sub-area projects. Just showing a lot of different graphics and visualizations, and I'll show a couple of examples here in a few minutes. Do next slide. Like I said, and I won't list all of these, we've prepared special area plans, small area plans, sub areas, really throughout the Midwest and throughout the country. The scale at which we're working at here is something that we're very familiar with. And so as we work with the Meach Group and prepare some of the initial concepts and then starting to check that against some of the financials, it's something that we've done, on several projects. Specifically in the last few years, our relationship with Meach Group has been a big part or a core component of delivering nice graphics, visualizations, and concept plans, but making sure that we're tying them to reality, tying them to financials. We'll see if this works. does. I talked about Meach Group a little bit. He specializes, he does TIFs and business districts, gap analysis. That's going to be a big part of what he's going to help us with on this project. And so when we do prepare those visualizations, he'll do an analysis to determine whether or not there's a significant gap, what that gap is, and then how do we want to fund that? What do we want to pay to meet that gap? Or what needs to change in the concept plans, use programs, or scale and sizes, those types of things. Jump ahead. For the scope of work, so on the next slide, we broke this down into a couple of different steps. So there's 4 core steps to this. We'll do a kickoff and a plan visioning. And so as part of that process, we'll get a baseline understanding of the site and the configurations, past planning work that's been done. We'll do field work and analysis, and then we'll start to get a better sense of what's happening on the ground. So transportation, use, existing conditions, constraints, those types of things. And then we'll start to prepare some sketch plans, some options that'll come out of that process. We'll come back and we'll present some of those sketch plans and those ideas. We'll do a financial and feasibility analysis that ties to those sketch plans, so you get a sense of if we're looking at these types of uses, or if we're looking at these types of building typologies, these are what the cost impacts might be depending on either the scale or that use type, whatever that might be. And it'll give you a better sense for like trade-off discussions. So as we start to have those overviews, what should this look like? What are you hoping it looks like desire-wise with the uses? And then what's that overall cost going to be? And then we'll do a draft and final master plan. And as part of that, we'll start to prepare more detailed visualizations just to give you a sense of what it could look like. And then that'll be something that we share with the public, get input, we'll make revisions, and then ultimately you'll have the final plan. The next slides, and we can kind of go through these a little quickly, but just for planning experience, so like I said, we've done this across many different project types, but implementation is a big component of what we want to make sure that we're considering as we go through this process. We want you to have more than just a nice graphic. It needs to be something that you can use as a tool in the future. And so these are just considerations as we go through this process. We'll be thinking about, is it grounded in reality? Is it supported by community input? Is it what the community wants to see? Is it a graphic-driven story? Are you able to understand where it's going? So there's a lot of different components in this, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the visualization is market-supported, financially viable, and something that could truly come out of the ground so you can start to get the message out about what you're trying to do here. The next slide just shows a couple of different examples of projects that we've done this for. So we were hired to do the Oak Brook Commercial Areas Revitalization Plan. This was along the entire corridor, but also specifically around the Oak Brook Mall and how we repositioned those outlets. So if you've been there in the last 10 years, they've really started to focus on bringing in new uses and bringing in new programming. That was a very big change for them. And so this plan started to set the stage for taking those parking lots offline and then showing those as redevelopment opportunities. Another project that our team worked on, jump ahead, is just repositioning the Lincolnwood Mall. So if you're familiar with this area, although there's a mall site there now, they were really looking at this as a redevelopment project. So what could this be if it was something very different than what's there today? And so starting to use this as a big mixed-use lifestyle center approach, bringing in residential, bringing in commercial and retail, but creating a place that would draw in, just like the mall used to, drawing in uses and then drawing in destination users over time. The next project, very similar in terms of the scale. So this was about repositioning. This is a pretty large project up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. They were trying to bring in Class A office, but also they wanted to bring in an arena. So this is for a D-League. So it's like where the Milwaukee Bucks D-League plays out of. And so just building this big mixed-use residential area around what would also be the arena, some office space, a lot of programming here. The scale, I think, is something, you can see the arena, but it's surrounded by so much other redevelopment opportunities. And so we did a series of visualizations. They did end up building the arena. They're in the process of building the mixed-use development now along the riverfront. We were brought on the next slide, just up the river to do an additional project for them to relocate a major headquarters. Same thing, took a large golf course and redeveloped what that could look like, more open space, more public gathering space, but then also this substantial office headquarters for Oscorp, if you're familiar with them. They basically make like the equivalent of the new Humvee, so it's a really neat site. So those are just some examples. You'll have these slides. You certainly can go through them if you have more questions. I'm not sure if there's another one after this. And then this is just a project, same thing, large scale, showing a lot of different use programs. This is one that we did with Meach Group where we're starting to tie those numbers. And so all of the redevelopment programs that we're showing here had financials assigned to them. So you had a sense for, would this pencil out? What are some of the issues, the roadblocks? Zoning needed to change. The community needed to put up some money to sort of meet the gap on some of the challenges with infrastructure, those types of things. Okay. So with that, I know that was a lot to close really quick, but we're really excited about this opportunity. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them and go from there.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I really like how you put together plans before bringing it to the public, so there's something to look at. Can you name a time or talk about a time like where was it more input, that it changed some of the plans, or more just like informational so people feel connected to it?
It has been both. I would say a lot of times when we present, it's difficult at this scale. I just went through an exercise like this. The scale that you're at, it really does, it lends itself well to, we can prepare a couple of sketch options focusing on different use types or different programming. And then the way we'll conduct the open house is we'll set up stations, people will be able to give us input. But it is very often that the input that we receive in that meeting, it helps us zero in on maybe this is a preferred concept. I think what's more often, it's like we like a little bit of 1 and a little bit of 3. Can we do a hybrid of that? That's probably what happens the most is we don't want to be very much just this use and just this use. We like a mix of it. Can you rethink it? And that's really why we do this. At this scale, it's about programming first, and you zero in on what it could be in the future, and then we'll prepare a plan from there. So yeah, that's very common.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you for your presentation, Nick.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing what's coming about in the future here.
Good.
All right. That'll take us to question and answers now.
I have a couple of things. We have anniversaries. Phil Lenz, is he still in the audience? Wake up, Phil. Yeah, wave your hand. It's only going to get more boring, so. Thank you. Yeah, he's been here for 29 years, so congratulations. That's on the 11th of this month. Congratulations. And keep up the good work out there at Bartlett Hills, buddy. And then we have some March birthdays. I'd like to start with Janelle. Is she here? Our HR director. Oh, you're way in the back. Hi. Hey, you want to be close to the door, don't you? So we won't see you slip out. Her birthday's on the 29th. Then we have Scott Strickey, our assistant village administrator. His birthday's on the 21st. And also Stephanie Gansey, trustee Stephanie Gansey, sitting to my right. Her birthday's the 21st. And lastly, our new police chief. His birthday's on the 11th. So congratulations, you guys. And I hope you all get the flowers I sent you in the mail. So, Mr. President, that's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Daney. That'll take us to standing committee reports. Item A1, Building and Zoning Committee, Chairman Hopkins.
Thank you, President Gunstein. Everything was covered under the consent agenda tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Hopkins. Community and Economic Development Committee, Chairman Gansey.
I don't think there was a page in there, so the resolution approving of the professional service agreement between the Village of Bartlett and Houseal Lavigne Associates LLC.
What number is it?
B1. So.
No, it's not the consent.
What is there?
It's not in the packet either.
Really?
Do you want to read the?
So just a motion to approve I move to approve resolution approving of the professional service agreement between the Village of Bartlett and Houseal Lavigne Associates LLC 2026-14-R.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Gansey, second by Trustee Daney. Any comments or concerns?
Right, is it on? I couldn't find it.
All right. Again, the presentation will be available if anybody needs to see it. I ask clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes, yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
That motion carries. Finance Committee, Chairman Laporte.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing on the agenda this evening.
Thank you, Chairman Laporte. License and Ordinance Committee, Chairman Batterman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item D1 was covered under consent. Item D2 is a liquor license. 120 Live is requested 2 Class J liquor licenses to sell alcohol at their weekend St. Patrick's Day celebration, Friday, March 13th through the 14th, and then again from the 15th through Sunday, the 15th. Class J liquor licenses are limited to a 2-day term. Therefore, this event requires the issuance of 2 Class J liquor licenses. The village board created the Class J liquor license for special events, enables businesses or organizations that currently hold a Bartlett liquor license for the sale of and consumption of alcohol to hold an outdoor special event liquor license on a limited basis. License allows for up to 6 days per year, with each event being held for a maximum of 2 consecutive days. I move to approve the Class J liquor license application submitted by 120 Live for special event from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on March 13th and 14th, and from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. on March 15th.
I'll second that.
Moved by Trustee Batterman, second by Trustee Daney. Any questions or concerns?
Is the petitioner here?
She is not.
Okay, thank you.
I ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Betterman?
That motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item D3 is another liquor license. Attached for your consideration is an ordinance amending Section 3321, Class A, Section 33220, Class V of Bartlett Liquor Control Ordinance. A new license in this class must be created before the license can be issued by the Liquor Commissioner. The application was submitted by Me 2050 Incorporated, doing business as Midway Sports Bar at 399 Bartlett Plaza, Bartlett, Illinois. Village Attorney has reviewed and approved all appropriate documents. I move to approve Ordinance 2026-16, an ordinance amending Title III, Chapter 3 of the Bartlett Municipal Code regarding the number of Class A and Class V liquor licenses.
I'll second that.
Moved by Trustee Batterman, second by Trustee Daney. Any questions or concerns? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky? Yes. Betterman? Yes. Daney?
Yes.
That motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our last item on the agenda is D4. It is very similar, so attached for your consideration is ordinance amending 3323 Class B and Section 33221 Class VC of the Bartlett Liquor Control License. New license in each class must be created before the license can be issued by the Liquor Commissioner. The application was submitted by Botanical Harmony Incorporated, doing business as Mila's at 128 Bartlett Plaza. Village Attorney has reviewed and approved all the appropriate documents. I move to approve Ordinance 2026-17, an ordinance amending Title III, Chapter 3 of the Bartlett Municipal Code regarding the number of Class B and Class VC liquor licenses.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Batterman, second by Trustee Daney. Any questions? Ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hopkins? Yes. Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky? Yes. Betterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
That motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's all the items under my agenda.
Police and Health Committee, Chairman Swansky.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing on the agenda this evening.
Thank you, Chairman Swansky. Public Works and Golf Committee, Chairman Daney.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had 3 items on the agenda. 2 were covered under consent. The only remaining item is F2. It's a resolution approving of the 2026 water main replacement project agreement between the Village of Bartlett and Gerard Sewer and Water Company. And I think Dan wanted to say a few words about this, if you'd be so kind.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Daney. So we went out to bid for our water main replacement program. It actually came in under budget. Our budget was $2 million, and we came in at just over 1.8. The question we have with the original project, so with the 1.8, we had 24 lead services being replaced. We're recommending at least going up to the full $2 million to add additional 14 lead services. We have a total of 71 lead services in town that we're aware of. If the board were to approve $2.4 million budget for the water main project, we would be able to get rid of all 71 lead services. So we looked at the unit prices for lead replacement, compared it to what other towns are getting, and the price looks favorable. So we wanted to bring this idea to you to see if you would like to eliminate lead services quicker than what we originally planned. We were going to phase it over the next 3 years, but given the good rates, it might be an opportunity to get them done in this fiscal year, this coming fiscal year.
I would be in favor of combining them and getting rid of our lead services, and I think you did a great job of foreseeing this and trying to get this accomplished.
I agree with Trustee Hopkins. I think it's an opportune time to do that, move forward with it, and just get it behind us.
So if the board moves forward, then it would be for a total of $2.4 million.
Correct. I think you're getting a better favorable price because you're doing it all at one time versus stretching it out over a continued period of time, which you're going to see raises effectively going in for construction workers and everything else. So if we can get this off our books now, I think it's
Safety, right?
it's a
Safety over
Yeah,
like a dollar
safety
amount,
and
fine.
compliance with the EPA.
I mean, 400,000 is a lot of money, but I think that there's other areas that we can make that back in time. So,
I just want to mention that we will potentially go below our minimum fund balance, so we might get a comment in our audit, but I think it's pretty easy to explain why we do.
Yeah.
can I get a motion?
Okay. With that, I move to approve Resolution 2026-19-R, a resolution approving of the 2026 water main replacement project agreement between the Village of Bartlett and Gerard Sewer and Water Company.
Hold on.
Ray, I think we want to make sure that we
Amend it to $2 million.
To amend to add the additional $400,000 to replace the remaining service lines.
2.4. Make a note of that.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the amended amount to $2.4 million to include all the replacement of the lead services? Motion by Trustee Daney, second by Trustee Hopkins. Any questions or concerns?
Yeah, I have a question. If Kurt made the motion, can I second it?
I cannot make a motion.
You did not make the motion. I ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins?
That motion carries. I'd like to make note of that for our residents so they know that this work is going to be taking place and not stretched out over 3 or 4 years. So I think that's an important thing to get out there. So thank you. All right. Trustee Daney?
That's all we have. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. New business. Anybody have any new business they'd like to discuss? All right. If not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Daney, second by Trustee Swansky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
We are adjourned.